A dramatic scene unfolds at the Nnamdi Azikiwe International Airport, a scene that is raising urgent questions about power, due process, and the state of democracy in Nigeria. Former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai says he was nearly arrested upon his return to the country, and he claims the move was not routine law enforcement, but something far more troubling. Here's what we know. El-Rufai arrived in Abuja on Thursday from Cairo, Egypt, but instead of a quiet return home, he says he was met by operatives of the Department of State Services, the DSS. According to the former governor, the operatives approached him immediately after he disembarked from his flight. Their message was simple. He was to accompany them to their office. No prior notice, no formal letter, no official summons presented on the spot. Curiosity quickly turned to tension. El-Rufai says he asked for a letter of invitation, a written request for questioning. He says the operatives told him they would provide documentation once they exited the airport, but he declined to go anywhere without formal paperwork. Then, the atmosphere thickened. He claims roughly 50 security operatives were present at the airport because of him. 50. Imagine stepping off a plane into what feels like a coordinated operation. He says officers asked him to hand over his passport. He refused, insisting on personally completing his immigration biometrics, as he says he always does. He proceeded to immigration, completed the process himself, and continued walking. But the encounter didn't end there. Two senior officials identifying themselves as DSS personnel allegedly approached him again. They reiterated the request. He needed to go with them. To where exactly? An office at the airport or DSS headquarters? Even that, he says, was unclear. And still, no letter. That's when the story takes a more serious turn. El-Rufai claims he later learned that the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, or the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, had asked the DSS to arrest him. In his words, this was not a simple invitation for questioning. He alleged it was an attempted abduction. I was supposed to be abducted by the DSS and taken to ICPC, he said. The accusation is stark, and it carries heavy implications. Please subscribe and share this video. Your support helps us keep bringing you reliable and valuable informations. There is, at this moment, no official public confirmation from either the DSS or the ICPC regarding these claims. But the political temperature is rising. Before this trip, El-Rufai had already warned that he might face what he describes as a politically motivated arrest upon returning to Nigeria. So when security officials met him at the airport, he says it confirmed his fears. Fear, not of arrest itself, he insists, but of something deeper. When critics questioned why he seemed resistant to accompanying security agents, El-Rufai pushed back strongly. He said he is not afraid of lawful arrest. He is afraid of tyranny, afraid of what he calls undemocratic practices. He spoke of a democracy, in his view, under strain, where the executive branch dominates unchecked, where the legislature is constrained, and where the judiciary, he alleges, is being weaponized against opposition figures. It is a powerful claim, one that invites both scrutiny and empathy. Because beyond the political rivalry lies a deeper question. In a democracy, what protections are owed to citizens, even powerful ones, when law enforcement comes calling? The irony is impossible to ignore. El-Rufai, once one of the most influential governors in Nigeria, now finds himself alleging that state machinery is being turned against him. And this incident does not exist in isolation. Two of his associates, Jimmy Lawal and Amadou Souley, are currently facing charges related to alleged fraud and money laundering by the ICPC. That context adds another layer of unease. Is this accountability unfolding or political persecution? At this hour, Nigerians are left suspended between competing narratives. On one hand, anti-corruption agencies have a mandate to investigate wrongdoing. No one is above the law. On the other, due process matters. Formal invitations matter. Transparency matters. The scene at the Abuja airport, a former governor surrounded by security operatives refusing to go without documentation, has now become a symbol. For some, it represents courage in the face of overreach. For others, it is simply the rule of law catching up. But here is the larger emotional arc of this moment. Curiosity about what truly happened behind those airport walls, awe at the sheer scale of the security presence, empathy for the tension of being confronted without clear documentation, suspension as the country waits for official clarification, fear of democratic erosion, irony in a powerful political figure alleging victimhood, unease about what this signals for Nigeria's institutions, and yet, hope. Hope that clarity will emerge, hope that institutions will act within the bounds of the law, hope that democracy, tested though it may be, remains resilient. This story is still developing, and Nigeria is watching. If you want honest, fearless reporting on Nigeria news, political developments, and breaking stories that affect our future, make sure you subscribe right now. Turn on notifications so you never miss updates, and share this video to help educate Nigeria.